Hey friends, big hello to all.
Hello everyone!
Today, Diamond and I will tell you about 5 interesting DIY projects for fishing
That will be useful for you and that you'll actually use.
Let's go, friends!
And now we will show you how to make a flip float. We've already threaded our float onto the line, and now we just need to thread one more little nipple and insert the tip of our float into this nipple. We take it and carefully insert it. As you can see, we ended up with this simple design. The setup looks like this. The float is backwards so that the float's antenna is facing the end where the hook will be. And on the other side, above the tip of the rod, we have these 2 weights. And near the hook, we place the lightest shot. Our setup looks like this. You weight the float as usual. And when the fish bites, the float won't sink to the bottom. Instead, as you can see, the hook will go to the side and the fish will lay it on the water. We're casting our float. As you can see, it's standing a bit sideways. If we can show it, you'll see the line coming out through the top antenna and going into the water. When the fish bites, the float lays on the water.
Guys, this type of inverted float is used for surface fishing when you are fishing for attacks and the weights are in your way. Because with weights, your bait will go down very quickly. And when you do it this way, and if you also put a 0.1 or 2.0.8 leash here, your bait will go down very slowly. Rod, bream, and all the fish that go for attacks will bite actively on this setup, believe me. And perhaps in the next video with Demon, we will fish with something similar and show you in action this very tackle, which will simply pull the float to the side at the moment of a bite. And it will be really visible even in the wind. In one of the previous videos, I told you about the protected smartphone Ascal S80. This is an excellent rugged smartphone with great features, boasting IP68 and IP69 protection. It has a good camera, a backlight for music, and its specifications match its budget-friendly price. Its big screen, friends, is something else. The color is just indescribable. The screen quality is top-notch for such a small price. The camera's focus works well, taking great photos and videos, and you can also shoot underwater. Anyway, I wanted to remind you about it. The link will be in the description. If you're interested, go ahead and check it out.
There weren't as many fishing setups as there are now. And that's why everyone did everything by hand. Let's say it's the old-fashioned way. In the last video, Seryoga told you how to make a spinner from a spoon. But in this video, we're going to show you how to make a lure from coins. For this, we will need 3 different coins in size. We made holes in the coins. Each of the coins has 2 holes. We'll need a treble hook and 3 rings. So first of all, we thread the split rings. In the same way, we thread the last ring. So we have all our coins gathered, and now we just need to thread the treble hook.
The advantage of this bait is that it can be made in different weights. That is, you can add a few coins at any time. It will become larger in size and heavier. Another advantage is that you can make the color to match the color of the coins. It could be either silver or brass, for example, something like that. So guys, experiment and you will definitely get something interesting like this. If you clean the coins, or just a little like I did, I cleaned them after drilling. You see, you get such a shine. You can polish them completely and you'll end up with a nice lure like the one we made with Diamond, something along those lines.
It often happens that you go fishing at a body of water and there's quite a bit of grass, so you use this kind of setup. It's called a snag-free lure, but it still gets snagged and you end up pulling a whole bunch of grass with you. Imagine that this is a fish. We have a pretty cool DIY project that will help you out. For this, we will need a silicone fish with a hook, a multi-tool, and weights. First, we take off the hook, set it aside, and cut our fish like this, so that our weights don't interfere with the hook. So we've cut our lure. This is what it looks like. So, now we take our 2 weights, and how should I put it? We try to somehow fit our fish in. One is definitely ready. And the second one is ready. They will definitely be crawling around, but still, try to do everything as neatly as possible so that it all looks nice. Now we need a lighter. As you can see, we've packed everything in there and we can seal it up now. We take the lighter, heat it up and seal our weights all the way. You can now see our weights in the middle of the fish. So, we won't need any sinkers or jig heads. They won't be gathering millions of kilograms of grass. And you'll just be able to smoothly move your bait. through the thick of the grass.
Here's our spoon that we already used today. There are even marks from the lead and the heat, but that's okay, it won't ruin it. In fact, it gives it a more aggressive look. So at first, as I said, we just take the pliers and cut it off. Here is our spoon. We take the file and carefully sharpen everything with you. After we have done this with you, we need 2 holes. Also, using the file, we need to smooth out all these edges. The burr. Guys, our lure is almost ready. All we need to do is take the split ring and thread it through. Right here at the front, we thread the split ring where we've already sharpened part of it, and where the handle is, we'll thread the treble hook through. It's very convenient to do this using a tool like round nose pliers. You can get a good grip with them and easily thread it through. Exactly the same procedure with the winding ring. We just thread it through. That's it. Guys, our lure is ready. Yes. Friends, we know that there are fishing rods designed for reels. With this kind of reel holder, there are also pole rods that have no attachments at all. It happens sometimes, but it's quite inconvenient when fishing. Or you might just lose your reel. You know, we used to often notice among older fishermen, and even now too. They made their own attachments for the fishing rods, specifically for the fishing line. Now we will show you how to do it. After all, in the past they often fished even with a regular bamboo rod, or a rod made of reeds or hazel.
Do you want to go fishing with a bamboo rod?
If you want to go fishing with a bamboo rod, friends, write in the comments. We'll definitely film it for you. And now we'll show you how to make a holder so that your fishing line is always on your rod. And you won't have to buy any kind of reel and attach it. We'll need some wire and electrical tape. Now I'm going to show you how to bend that thing that will hold your fishing line. We're taking our wire and we bend it like this, in half. In this place, you and I will form such an interesting sole. You could say that, but here we just take and bite off our wire. Here's what we ended up with. We have 2 little tails like this. Now we take them and bend them. Like this, we leave about 5 centimeters here and just bend it. After some simple manipulations with the pliers, we ended up with these 2 hooks. Now we're going to use blue electrical tape. You see, back then, everyone used it, not just electrical tape. It's like saying, here, we screw on our hooks. Now we step back about 25 centimeters, like this, so that our fishing line is here, and we attach the second hook. Now with the help of these rings, we can wind our fishing line onto our rod. This is where it will be stored, guys, all the time. Together with our rod, you can make such a simple winder for any rod, whether it's bamboo, wooden, or homemade. And this kind of winder has always helped fishermen while fishing. Oh, right, yeah. Look, he pulled it in like that, such a little carp. Yeah, made him dive. First thing, we need to use some wire to make a hole here in the cork. We made a small through hole. There's this thing called a skewer, a wooden one. This is a straight stick. You can use anything, guys, that you like. We're threading our skewer through the cork like this. And we already have a ready-made float with an adjustable antenna. We can make the antenna short or we can make it long. Everything, just the way we want it, to suit any taste and color. I have this fluorescent paint. This paint glows in the dark. Now we will paint the antenna of our float with this paint. Our little buoy, and in the evening, well, during the dark hours, even at night, guys, we'll be able to see our float really well. Here's the float we've got. As you can see, I only painted the tip and the buoy itself a little bit. Guys, the advantage of the float is that it's natural. It turns out to be a surprisingly natural color. It's heavy, easy to make, and it's really visible in any conditions. Whatever you're fishing for, whether it's pike or crucian carp, this float, guys, is just great. And the plus is that it can be adjusted, meaning by the weight. The less weight you have, the higher you can lift it. The waves are bigger, we raise the antenna, If you have, say, calm weather for an hour, like it is right now, you can raise the antenna much higher and fish like this. So as you can see, the float is adjustable and it's quite visible, especially at night, especially if you paint it with this kind of thing.
And the main advantage of this float is that you can put on it, whether you want 2, 3, or even 5 floats, it will still hold its weight, guys.
So here's the collection of DIY projects we ended up with.
Of course. You will definitely like them. And you'll use them if you want more. More DIY projects, a video about DIY projects, write your suggestions in the comments. We'll definitely check them out and show you